Exercise 3. 1. You hear a police officer talking.
I've been in the police force for 30 years. And of course I've seen some big changes in that time. There have always been risks in the job, and nowadays there are definitely more people carrying guns and knives than in the past. But we're better protected too, with special clothing and equipment, so I generally feel pretty safe. Computers have completely changed our job though. Without them, we wouldn't solve half the crimes we solve now. And what's nice is that they've actually reduced the number of reports we have to write. So paperwork has thankfully decreased, leaving us more time to catch criminals.
2. You hear two people talking about an escaped criminal.
Did you hear a criminal broke out of the prison near here the other day?
Yes, I did, but they must have caught him and put him safely away again by now.
I'm not sure about that. The police helicopter was out searching yesterday, which suggests he's still on the run. Do you know what he went to prison for? He could be dangerous.
Well, I think most of the people in that prison are serving sentences for burglary, shoplifting, that kind of thing. I don't think they're too violent. Still, we should probably make sure we keep the doors and windows locked just in case until we hear they've caught him.
Definitely.
3. You hear a young woman talking.
When I was at school, I was always getting into trouble, usually for vandalism and shoplifting, but once for arson as well. I was too young to go to prison, so I had to do community service many times. I know I was difficult to put up with, and I'm not surprised nobody believed anything I said or trusted me with anything. The thing is, though, I did my time and I learnt my lesson. I'm not like that anymore. I'm a better person and much happier for it, but people still don't trust me. They ought to give me a second chance, but they don't.
4. You hear two people talking about a crime.
You know that driver who drove onto the pavement and killed a woman and her baby?
Yes, I remember.
He was only sentenced to 5 years in prison. Can you believe it? He should have got a life sentence or the death penalty, if you ask me.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it? I mean, it was awful, of course, but he didn't mean to kill them. I agree that 5 years is hardly adequate for causing the death of 2 innocent people, though. I'm sure they'll reconsider the sentence. I expect it will be increased to 15 or even 20 years, perhaps.
Well, I certainly hope so.
5. You hear an old man telling a policewoman about a burglar.
So, Mr. Jones, could you tell me what the burglar looked like?
He must have been at least 1.8 meters tall. Definitely around 185, I'd say. He spoke to me as well, you know. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was quite polite, actually. He told me that if I kept still and quiet, he wouldn't have to tie me up. Or perhaps he said he wouldn't have to kill me. I forget now. Anyway, I'm still here.
Did he have any particular accent?
I think he was from Liverpool, but I may be wrong about that. Perhaps he was from the northwest, but I couldn't swear to it.
6. You hear a policewoman talking to some TV and newspaper reporters.
I can confirm that 3 murders have been committed in the city in the last 2 weeks. What I would like to do now is to ask people to remain calm and not to panic. The public have been extremely helpful in coming forward with information, and we have been able to build a very clear picture of the person we're looking for. We are doing everything we can to find this person and to get him safely locked up, and I'm confident that we are very close to getting a result. As soon as we have any further information, we will of course let you know.
7. You hear a man talking about an incident on his land.
People are always trespassing on my land, and it drives me mad. Last week, my farm manager accused a local girl of smoking in one of my sheds. He said he'd seen her in there with his own eyes, and so he'd caught her red-handed. She swears she's innocent, of course. She says it wasn't her and that she's never even been in there. I trust my manager completely, and he's convinced she's guilty of trespassing. But I do have my doubts. I know the girl's parents, and I can't imagine she'd be disrespectful of other people's property. It's difficult to prove either way.